Pre-rolling now, we're pre-rolling now, we're pre-rolling now, we're pre-rolling. Welcome to the pre-roll. Welcome to the pre-roll. Thank you so much for downloading another episode of the Mac Pack podcast. We provide the pod for free each and every week. We have done for over 5 years now.
5 years.
All we're asking for you guys, we just have two little things for you guys to do.
Little bitty things.
One is to share this episode with a friend. Just quickly, literally just hit share and send a text to your best mate, your worst mate, your mum, your dad, your brother, your sister. Just send it to someone and say, hey, I think you would like this.
What's next?
And secondly, on Spotify, there's a little comments box.
Okay.
I just want you to put in your favorite thing of this week's episode. Just write a little message.
That's it.
I love this bit. Make a funny reference. Say you hate it a bit. I don't care. Just let us know what you think. G'day, welcome to the Mac Pack.
We're back.
My name's Jake McKenna, and to my left this week in Honor of the Man on the panel, who is the biggest Smallzy fan. That's my little brother Joe. How are you, boy?
Going good, yes. We're all big Smallzy fans. I'm excited to have him on.
And to my right, coming in at 6'1", as he does each and every week, it's the baby brother of the pack who we call Junior Boy. Junior Boy, how are you?
This dude has been on the radio forever, it feels like.
He literally started doing radio when he was just 16 years old.
Wow.
He's since been on Nova, I think longer than you've been alive, Junior Boy, or thereabouts anyway.
Long surgery.
Yes.
The bloke is an absolute wizard.
That's right.
Behind the desk. We chat about all sorts of things. Some of the biggest guests that he's been fortunate enough to speak to over his journey.
Some icons.
Plus a huge step that he's taking in 2026 in the sense that he's leaving Nova and joining KIIS FM. We have a wonderful chat with the Kent Smalls. It's Smallzy from the surgery. Let's get into it. Boys.
Brother Mingos.
How are we all? Are we all well?
We're stoked to be here today, Jake. Got some not international, over interstate guest on the line.
Yeah, it's very excited indeed. This bloke is a genuine Australian icon in regards to the radio landscape. He's been broadcasting on the airwaves longer than Junior Boy has been alive.
I know, right?
Chatting to some of the biggest names the world has ever seen. He broke our hearts in August when he announced that he was hanging up the scalpel.
A tragedy.
And closing the doors on the surgery on Nova. But excitingly, he's returning to our airwaves in 2026 as part of KIIS FM. He's a little bit like Cher. He's a bit like Bono. He's a bit like Prince in the sense that he goes by a bit of a single name
It's a
operation.
one-namer.
Smallzy, obviously, is the man we are talking about. Smallzy, how are you, mate?
What an intro, boys. You put me to shame. I don't think I've ever big up a guest like that in my entire time. I'm going to have to step it up next year.
How are you, man? We're obviously very excited about the KIIS FM appointment. How did that all come about? What are you looking forward to for next year?
Oh, my God, where do I even start? I think I'm just most excited that the news is finally out there, to be honest with you. I had been sitting on it and been lying about it for so long that it still doesn't feel like real that I can even talk about that it's happening. But yeah, no, it is. I am making the big switch to KIIS in 26, and you guys are in Perth, right?
We are, yes.
Yeah, so you'll be getting KIIS too from next year. There'll be a KIIS Perth launching on DAB, so I'll be there, welcoming all of my loyal listeners to a new station in Perth and around the whole country at the beginning of next year.
Yeah, it will be unreal. Take us back to the start. Has radio always been your number one thing? What were you doing when you were in high school? You started obviously very early.
Yeah, I have done nothing else. I don't know what I would do if I didn't do radio, to be honest with you. Yeah, I mean, I think I started, I can give you the boring long version if you'd like.
Yeah,
this is a
go for it,
podcast,
man.
so I can give you the boring long version. No, I think this is the crazy thing is when you do, I've only ever done radio, and podcasts are so vastly different to then what radio is, because I'm just like, you know what, keep it sharp, 4 minutes, like let's just get straight to the point. And the podcast is 25 minutes later and we haven't got past the hello yet. So I started radio when I was 16, started in community radio. God, I took it seriously. Oh, didn't I take it seriously?
What kind of breaks were you doing? What was your show like then?
It was like, it's pretty much what I'm doing now, to be honest with you. I've not really evolved. I haven't evolved the shtick much in 23 years. So, hey, I'm happy to still be doing the same thing. It was nowhere near as good. I don't even know if I have any air checks. I mean, I probably would somewhere, but God, they'd be terrible. That's when you're supposed to say, "Hey, here's something we found from the internet." So yeah, no, I started that when I was 16. I took it so seriously. Oh, it was my dream to be on the radio.
And what shift were you doing in community radio? Were you like on the weekends every day? What kind of stuff?
No, it was I think I used to do like a Saturday afternoon. I think I did a Friday night there for a while. I mean, I don't know what community radio is like back in the day, but back in the day, you had to fight the committee to get yourself on the air. You had to go and pitch your show.
Oh, really?
There were so many oldies that were like wanted to do their bluegrass and country hour, and you had to like fight to get it off them.
Well, there's still a bit of that going on. I'll tell you that much.
Okay, good to see it hasn't changed at all. So yeah, I think I had to like stab an old guy to death to get his bluegrass show off of him. And then I ended up doing like Fridays or the weekend or something like that. It was like an hour and a half show. God, again, I just remember like you had to take your own songs in back when I did it. You had to bring your own playlist, your own music. So you'd like cart this big steel suitcase full of the songs, and I was 16, and you had you worked like a casual job, and like the only way you could get music was like a CD single, or then back in my day was like LimeWire.
Yeah, true.
So you'd be like downloading the hottest tracks of the week, and then it would take, because you wouldn't be doing video calls. It was like ADSL or it was dial up, and it would take like 3 days to download one song, only for it to be like a virus. So then you hadn't got anything. And then, Friday would roll around, you'd do your show. God, I don't even know what I talked about. I talked a lot of shit. Probably, I still talk a lot of shit. And then, I used to have high school friends who would listen and they would call up. And then I went to afters after that, which I don't know if you know, it's the Australian Film, Television, Radio School. Yeah. Anyone who asks me is like, "Oh, I want to do radio." And it's like, mate, just, if you can't crack it, or you don't want to if you don't want to move, or you want to try and get some more experience under your belt. I highly loved my time at afters. You made so many connections, and I remember we used to, back then when I was like 19, got to go into the then Nova Sydney 12 months after it had launched or something like that. And so as a kid, I was like, "Oh shit, this is like the big time." And then ended up getting my first job in commercial radio, doing evenings on the Central Coast.
Yep.
At Star 104.5, which had not launched when I had signed my deal. So I ended up. Do you want the long version, or I can just take out all the boring stuff? You just let me know. You just tell me what you want to know, and I can give you the answer.
All right. Well, in that case, we'll dial it back a little bit. You said you were doing community radio since you were 16. That means you've been in the industry for over 20 years. You're known for your smooth radio craft these days. Everything's so very, very clean on your shows. It's a very easy listening experience. But what is your biggest radio fail? What's one moment you look back on and you screwed the pooch?
Oh God. Well, easy. During radio school, you do this like a 1 week sort of placement where they send you to some small, like a country town or something like that, and you get to go do radio. You don't get paid for it. Newsflash, even in your first job, you're really not getting paid either. But you did this 1 week placement, and I got sent to Albury in regional New South Wales, which was the then sort of like hub of the DMG radio regional network. And I was doing Midnight to Dawns. And I remember it was like 25 radio stations that I was broadcasting on, midnight to dawn. And I was like, "I fucking made it. This is it. This is the big time. Nothing gets better than this." And I just must have nailed some break. And I was like, "I'm going to go get a cup of tea because I just deserve a little pat on the back." I forget to put it in like auto. or automation, and then the whole thing just goes offline and the whole thing goes off the air, and I send like 25 radio stations off, and there's 25 technicians like calling going, why are we off air, what's happened? And I'm like, I don't know. It just stopped playing. And then I've done some other kooky shit too in my time, but the lawyers have advised me not to talk about that 'cause,
That's fair enough. Most people know you from the Smallzy surgery, which you started about 12, 13 years ago. How did that come together?
Well, there's an old saying in radio, you haven't worked in radio until you get sacked.
Yeah.
And so prior to that, I had just been sacked and I was without a job. And at the time, this was 2011. I got sacked in 2010 and lost my show, but I was lucky enough to be like still around at Nova, and I was just like floating, doing weekends, doing some stuff in music and bits and pieces. It was the first time I'd literally been sacked in radio. And I was devastated. I was like, oh my God, now what am I going to do? And I'm like, well, I've got nothing else to do, so I may as well just stick at this. Shortly, halfway through 2011, a guy called Paul Jackson, who, went on to become, he was my ultimate boss and the group program director of Nova. He started. He was looking to make some changes to the show that had replaced me because it wasn't working. And then I ended up getting asked to go. This is wild. This is why it's like you just always got to say yes in this business.
Yeah.
Like I was just floating, doing nothing. And then in the September survey break of 2011, the then show that was hosting the evening slot were on survey break. And then a chance to interview Bruno Mars came up in London, and I think someone else was supposed to do it, but they didn't want to go to London to do it.
Right.
And I was like, well, I'm not doing anything. I'll go to London in economy, which at the time I was like, I've never been to London. This is huge.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, like I don't even have a show and I've made it. And so I went to do this show. I went to do this interview with Bruno Mars, and that went really well. And then I think it caught the attention of Paul Jackson, who was the then program director, group program director. And he was like, hey, I reckon we're going to give you a shot to do a show on your own. Nova wasn't rating at all, really at all, anywhere.
Yeah, okay.
Particularly at night. Like when I came on to the evening slot, the Hot 30 was this dominant force on evenings radio on the 2-day network, or the Hit network now. And it was unstoppable. Like it just couldn't be stopped. And then I think it was like maybe 4 surveys into that year, we had taken the #1 crown, and we kind of had held it ever since then in 2012, which was great.
Before you did that Bruno Mars interview, which I guess was like your big shot, had you done
that was my big break.
Yeah. Had you done many interviews before?
None.
Did you do? What was the prep like getting into it?
Well, it was like I had done a few, but, because I had worked in Nova Brisbane in evenings for a while, and you do some like, I had done interviews. Like I remember I had interviewed Rihanna and stuff like that, but she was early in her career when I had interviewed her, and like it was early days, and lots of young new artists were coming into the radio station. But Bruno Mars was like, he was like a certified, like Treasure was like a bangin', and all of this was like he was a big star. He was the first big star, and I remember just like shitting myself. And I remember someone saying to me, it's like, don't fuck this up. Like, just don't fuck this up. That's
not what you want to hear either.
Nah, it puts hairs on your chest, boys. I really, pressure builds diamonds. So
but before this one, that's what Jake was saying to us.
Yeah, don't fuck it up.
Yeah.
That's cool.
No, you boys doing all right so far, so good.
You've
I'll give you some notes afterwards. It's okay.
You have interviewed some other A-list celebrities: Ed Sheeran, Justin Bieber, Pitbull, Katy Perry, to name a few.
Yeah. I'm in Pitbull's music video, just in case you were curious.
Hey, actually.
Oh, which one?
Yeah, the one with Christina Aguilera. don't know the name of the song, but I am in that video. So
What role do you play?
just cutaway at 1:16 is where you can find me. I'll claim it though. All right, I'll claim it.
Who's been your favorite celebrity guest you've got to talk to?
Oh my God. I get asked this question a lot. Like a lot of people ask me like, oh, who's your favorite interview? Who's the biggest interview? And I kind of always sort of respond or try to respond in the same way, which is just ask me a question about someone and then I can give you a story associated with it. But like on average, I kind of do 200, 230 interviews a year.
Yeah, right.
They all kind of blur into one, really, at the
that
end of
makes
the day.
sense.
Right?
I wanted to ask you about you met Tom Cruise on the red carpet for Dead Reckoning. I'm a massive Tom Cruise fan. Oh, sorry, you've just gone on mute. You're about to say something bad about Tom Cruise.
No, Tom Cruise is the ultimate king. Like everyone needs to take a leaf out of his book. He is probably in my top 5 best interviews that I've ever done. The man is like, he didn't have to be as like generous with his time. He didn't have to stop and say hello to everyone, but he did. And like, I think that's like a testament to him that he had this big red carpet, like premiere thing in Sydney for Dead Reckoning Part 1. And I reckon there might have been maybe 2,000 fans came out to see him. And he stopped and worked the barricade and met every single fan.
That's crazy.
And it went for 3.5 hours. And I have seen far less famous people like blow straight past the fans and could care less to even say hello to them.
Well, there you go. Wow. That's nice to know. You mentioned you were absolutely nervous when you met Bruno Mars. Can you remember when you stopped feeling nervous when you were meeting these people?
You know what? Secret. I don't think you ever really do.
Yeah. Okay.
Like it's just different. It's a different type of nerves. I reckon in the early days, you're like nervous to meet these people.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's over time, you're just like, oh, everyone's just like us. But then you become a little bit nervous because you want you have this expectation that you want to get a good interview out of this person. Like you don't want to be, interviewing Mariah Carey and for her just to give you one word answers or something like that. Like, so you get anxious, at least for me, sometimes a little bit anxious about like, oh, I hope this goes right. Like, oh, I hope they're in a good mood today. And I try to I want guests to sort of feel comfortable with me.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't really do some people. Look, everyone does interviews differently. Question, answer. I much prefer doing a conversation interview. And so my goal always is to sort of like break down that sort of promo barrier that an artist or a movie star might have and just have a genuine, fun, back and forth conversation.
And that definitely comes across. I think in a lot of your videos that I've seen and a lot of the interviews you've done, you come across very personable when the person is doing exactly that. They're having a conversation with you.
Yes, you can stay. You can stay too. That's good.
How do you find it when
compliment the great boys, great lesson, compliment the guest. That's a great way to build rapport.
How do you find it when they like consider you a friend? Like you had Ed Sheeran announce that you're joining KIIS, for example, and Niall Horan, for example.
Hey guys, I have an announcement to make, and I don't know why I have been chosen to give this announcement, but I quite like that I am giving the announcement. There is a brand new show coming to KIIS in 2026, and the host of the show is, drumroll please, my old mate Smallzy. Congratulations, mate, and welcome to your new home. I hope it's a fantastic show. Can't wait to listen to it. Can't wait to see you again, and congratulations to KIIS as well for having Smallzy. This is great. Lots of love.
Australia, hello. Sound the alarms. Smallzy has made the big move to KIIS in 26. Smallzy's been such a huge part of my career. I've been going on the radio with Smallzy for 10 plus years. He's also championed so many artists and supported so many artists over the years too. So I'm delighted he's making the big move to join the iHeartRadio family, which is amazing. I can't wait to be back on air and back in Oz, having a laugh. I miss Australia very much. But until then, the countdown begins. The Smallzy show is coming very soon. Big kisses, Australia. I'll see you soon.
That must
Yeah.
feel pretty good to know that they're sort of peers in some regard.
Well, you know what? It's you don't realize you don't realize you're building something until you get to the end of something and you look back. And I think for like the Surge in particular, like it just was a show that it always felt in that show like it did on the first day, which was like, I felt like the underdog. We were always trying to move and trying to always hustle the next opportunity. And so it's not until you stop and get to the end and you look back and you're like, oh shit, like that's pretty insane. And then I think I don't know if you saw, there was a video that when I celebrated 20 years on air, my executive producer had pulled together all these videos from these artists who I had played an impact in there and played a role in their careers, and they had sent video messages. And that was a bit like, oh God, like, because for a lot of these, like I meet them all for the first time when no one even cares to know who they are.
That's very true,
that's the craziest thing. And sometimes I still find it funny and strange when, you watch Sabrina Carpenter, right? She's having her moment. It's just incredible, and her songs are all over the radio. I have known her since she was like 15, and people didn't care when she was 15. And it's so crazy seeing her now be a household name. And I have grown with those artists as their careers have grown. And I think that sort of is why I feel it was so special to have Ed and Niall as part of my announcement for my new shows on the KIIS network next year, as a real demonstrator to people who maybe don't know who I am about like the level of like relationships that I have built over the course of my career. So it was really meaningful.
Is there anyone sort of young that you, or like someone who's an up and comer who you've interviewed semi-recently that you think will be, that you like in your mind think, they might be the next big thing? Or do you just have no idea until?
Look, can I be honest with you? One of my favorite sayings, is, great singers don't become great pop stars, and great pop stars aren't great singers. And really, at the end of the day, just because someone has a talent doesn't necessarily mean they're going to go on and become something super extraordinary. I have met plenty of people who I thought were going to make it and they never did, but recently, I mean, look, I think these days it's probably a little bit harder with the way the algorithm works on streaming and on TikTok. But I'll come back to you on that. On who is someone.
Is there anyone that you wanted to maybe speak to that you haven't spoken to? You've obviously spoken to so many people. Is there someone that sits on the pedestal, or someone you wish you had of, or maybe hope to in the future?
Well, that's great. That's a good question. I haven't been asked that one before. Let me take that on notice, and I'll come back to you on that. 'Cause I don't want to give you a cliche like, someone so or something like that. I'd rather give you like a, or a dead person. I'd rather give you someone that's like, oh, they don't do interviews, but then I'm like, oh no, I've interviewed them. Oh no, I've interviewed them. No, I've interviewed them.
On Sabrina Carpenter, do you remember what it was that you were first initially met her for? Was it?
She was a big Disney star, bro.
Yeah,
I don't know if you guys look like you're right in the Sabrina Carpenter wheelhouse there for her career on the Disney Channel. Yeah, no, she was signed to Hollywood Records. She was like it was a little pop star, little Disney pop star, and then she was trying to cross over and sort of break outside that mold. And then she had a couple of records, like a couple of songs, came into the studio a bunch of times, did heaps of interviews. She also had a fleeting sort of feud with Olivia Rodrigo there for a while before her fame blew up, which people may or may not know about. If that was the rumor, according to the internet, at least. Yeah. And then her career sort of took off way after that, when she was sort of here in Australia with Taylor and Espresso came out.
Yeah, good times.
Over your journey, you would have met so many people. Has anyone given you some fantastic pieces of advice that you've taken with you?
Yep. I still believe in it to this day, is like no job is too big and no job is too small. Like whatever you're doing, like there's nothing should be beneath you. Like whatever you're doing, it has to be done. It has to be done. I don't care. Like doesn't matter if it's, setting up a camera or plugging in a microphone or whatever. Some people, I think, move on a bit too quickly from that and think, oh, that's not my job. I'm not going to get involved with that. But, no job too big, no job too small. It doesn't matter what it needs to be. You just got to get it done. And, I was having a conversation with someone last night about this actually, which was like, I think the one thing that I've sort of worked out is that I think the difference between a lot of people like being good and being great or being, average and being good is just like consistently showing up when someone else doesn't.
Yeah, that's a good shout.
Like I think there was one stage maybe like 5 years ago or something like that. We had worked out that cumulatively across the Hit network and then the KIIS network when I was still at Nova, we had gone up against 25 different shows.
Yeah, right.
Had come and gone to take on me. And it was like we were the only show that was consistently on the Nova network at that time. And I was like, you never know, would any of those shows ever had eventually beaten me? I don't know. They didn't hang around long enough to find out. And I think that's like that's my one thing that I remind myself all the time. It's like, you just got to keep showing up. You got to keep doing the things that your competitor won't do. And that's how you'll beat them.
Yeah, that's fair. I guess opposite to that, have you ever received probably the worst advice you ever received?
Yeah, someone told me I'd never be good at radio and I should give it up. There was one radio executive who doesn't work in radio anymore said the best you'll ever do is maybe Workday in Adelaide.
Yeah, right.
So like just, that's if I was you, that's what you should really sort of set your expectations on. You'll be no better than Workday in Adelaide. And I was like, okay, well, no disrespect to Adelaide, but I dream bigger than that. And boy, wasn't he wrong.
How did you respond at the time? Like, did that
I was fucking shattered. I
was
shattered. Oh my God. I reckon I was like maybe 20. And I still remember where it was. I was in this boardroom at the first radio station I worked at, in the boardroom. And I remember him saying, it's like, oh, you'd be lucky to, ever do Workday in Adelaide. And I was like, oh, okay. All right. Well, I'll prove you wrong. It's where I was kind of left it. But I was like, also too, can I swear on this?
Absolutely,
I mean, I sworn a little bit, but can I say, what a cunty thing to say.
Yeah, especially at your age as well. Like, you're obviously just starting. That's not really what anyone needs to hear.
People ask me all the time, oh, can you ever listen to this? And I absolutely. But I'd never tell someone, oh, give it up. You're pretty shit. Like, it's just like, what a horrible person. Like what a miserable existence they must have had to actually have gotten joy out of just like telling someone sitting in front of them, the best you'll ever do is like Workday in Adelaide.
And it is a testament to them and yourself, though.
Lit a fire in me, though, didn't it? Oh.
Because, they no longer work in it, and you've gone on to work in it for 20 odd years. So there you go. The proof is in the pudding.
And I think like, one of the weird things about like creativity is, I think you'll find you can come across people who you just being you can intimidate them, and that will make them feel uncomfortable, and they'll make observations or judgments about you that are not even remotely accurate. But that's because it's their own insecurity that is like their defense mechanism is, it's like, well, if I can't compete with that person, I'm just going to talk shit about them or try and ruin them or try to derail them. And it's like, at the end of the day, you got to lay down. You got to go to, you lay down your own thoughts when you go to bed at night. And it's like, if you're a decent, person, that's all you really can be, and everything else will take care of itself, really.
Yeah, 100%.
Did you ever have a run-in with that person later on down the track, or ever get to see
I
them?
sure did.
Yeah?
I sure did.
What-
They wanted to manage me.
Oh, wow.
You can imagine how that conversation went.
You'll never manage Workday in Adelaide.
Pretty close. Pretty close.
Goodness
I think
me.
you can manage 0%. You want to. It's like I was like, just explain to me. Thanks so much for reaching out to me. I think the conversation. Thanks so much for reaching out to me. I'm really excited. Like, I'd love to, have some management. But if I'd taken your career advice, I'd only be doing Workday in Adelaide. So why would I want to give you 20% of anything?
That's a great
The whole room just was like. I was like, best we wrap that up there.
Have you had anyone in particular that you've found has really helped your journey along the way?
Yep, absolutely. Do you want to know their names, or would you like just mystery? Yeah, no, I gotta give credit to my first boss, Paul Jackson, who used to run the Nova Network. He was, I think, paramount in believing in me. And then even when didn't believe maybe in what was going on, they were giving me the sort of like freedom to find the path and find what works for the show. There's another guy, he runs the Smooth Network now. His name's Peter Clay. He was a big, big supporter and forever grateful for him in my career.
Yeah, massive. We are very mindful of your time. We've only got a handful more questions left.
No, you're right, boys. You're okay. You've wooed me. You're all right. You've got time.
I appreciate that. It was big news when you left Nova. I was saying I was fortunate enough to catch the last show, and I was actually with Mum at the time, and I said I can't really imagine a world where Smallzy isn't on the radio. He's just been on the radio for the longest time. I can't remember turning on and not hearing you. What was it like coming to the decision to finish up at Nova?
It was, I think it is. It's so funny. I have been asked this question, and I've got my personal, like off the record response, but I haven't come up with my actual particular corporatized response to that question. I think I will say. I had the greatest time of my life doing that show. The greatest time. And it afforded me more chances and more opportunities than I could ever have possibly dreamed. Like if someone had told me when I walked into that door the first time in like 2012 that you'd still be going in 2025 and you would do this and go there and be part of this and meet that and do this, I'd be like, that.
Hang on. You might have cut out.
No, there I'm back. Are you back?
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
I thought it was
Where
a dramatic.
was I? What was it?
It was a dramatic pause. It left us on a real cliff there.
You were saying,
what did I say? Where was I at?
You were like, if someone had told me that all this stuff was going to happen and I imagined it, ... and then there was a big pause.
The answer to that was I would never have believed them. I would fair. Like to meet this person and meet that person and have this experience and travel. Holy shit, I have traveled the world like more than most people travel in their entire lives. Like I get to leave the country every year. Like I'm so incredibly grateful for all of that. I would never have believed that to be true. Having said that, there comes a time, I think, when you got to back yourself and look for opportunity, look for growth, and look for changes. And I was really excited by and inspired by what the KIIS network has planned for next year. That I was like, you know what? I can either stay here for another 22 years or I can, go somewhere else and have a crack and build some. Because you know what, boys, I'll tell you right now, the most fun that I have ever had in my career is always building something.
Yeah, okay.
You know, like building stuff is the most fun. Like you get to the top and you sort of your mind shift changes a little bit where you're like, okay, cool, I'm the market leader. What are we doing? You know, what's happening in the market? When you're like, you know, the underdog, I love being the underdog. So like having to start where the KIIS network is in its time slots that I'm taking over for next year. I'm so excited to like get, you know, chase it like a dog with a bone. Like I won't be stopped. Like it's going to be the most exciting. And I'm going to feel like, I reckon, like I did in 2012, like so much to prove. I just can't wait to get into it.
Nah, it'll be fantastic.
That's awesome. You say
You better be listening. You better be listening.
Oh, absolutely.
100%. The surgery was obviously music and pop culture focused, and your new show on KIIS seems like it's going to follow a similar trend. I heard you fill in for Tim recently on Ricky Lee, Tim and Joel, and loved it. Have you ever thought about trying to or delving into a show with multiple people? Or do you like just having your own show?
Yeah. No, look, I have done shows in the past. I tell you, I don't mind doing shows. I do enjoy, however, being the person who makes the decisions and not having to like have to have a conversation or like this. Look, I kind of like the idea of building a show with some sort of characters involved. And if anyone listens to, like, had listened to The Surge or will listen to the show next year, there will be like a multitude of off-air characters that sort of play their role to help me through the show. But in terms of a co-host, I haven't had a co-host since like 2010. And it's just so personally liberating just being able to go, like as long as I'm okay with the idea that the team might be coming up with, it's like, sweet, we're on board. But when you work in a show, you have to be a little bit more diplomatic. It's like, okay, co-host, do you feel like you've been heard? And okay, do you feel like you've been heard? It's like you got to sort of like navigate egos. And also too, it's like whenever you do these types of shows, you're spending so much time with people who don't work in radio or don't work in like this sort of business will never quite understand the sort of deep connection you have with the people you work with, because you sort of see them at odd hours of the day. You're being creative. When you're being creative, you're being vulnerable. If you're being vulnerable, you can, you know, your ego can get hurt if you're critiqued or criticized. And, you know, it's really, you get one bad person into a sort of like a tight team, or one person who's a little bit sort of sensitive, or maybe not sensitive, but they don't have an ability to read the room. And that can change the whole dynamic in a show overnight.
True.
So I kind of like to guard, like, you know, it's like a safe space. So everyone who's part of that team feels. But then again, if they want to pay me $10 million, I'm happy to have a co-host. Happy to have a co-host.
I did notice that Zach's coming with you. He's leaving Nova and joining you over there. How important is that for the dynamic of the show and for what you guys get up to?
Absolutely. The most important.
Yeah.
Like when I was, you know, talking about people who've played significant roles in my career, Zach, my executive producer, absolutely is one of them. Like, to work with someone who is as invested, I guess it's like you boys, right? Like you're all brothers and you're all involved in this and you're all like equally want something to work.
Yeah.
Like put someone else in there and the dynamic changes and they may not want to sort of work or do the interview at midnight or do the interview at 1 because they're like, sorry, I don't work right now. So it's like, when Zach was like, he wanted to come, I was like, absolutely, let's go.
Yeah, cool.
Let's show them what we got, baby. Let's do this.
Yeah, fantastic.
You've been in the radio industry for over 20 years. What's something you want to hear more of on your radio?
Oh, me. Oh. Attention to detail. I really like I'm like a radio nerd. So like if I hear like a sweeper that's not segged properly, or if I hear like someone leave too long off a back announce. Like I'm like a big, like I think you touched on it at the top, like the show for me, I was like quite free flowing and moves quickly. If I hear something that feels clunky on the radio, I just like, oh my God, this is just so uncomfortable to listen to when like normally radio is like free flowing. But then, that each shows do different things.
Do you also do the desk and like more of the technical
All
stuff?
of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, all of it. I'm across all of it. I'm like, I don't think anyone asks me, it's like, do you want to like drive the panel? It's like, absolutely you do. Like I'm on playing those sound effects. I'm playing those things. I'm doing the ads. I'm writing the faders. I think all of the good shows, the big shows, there's someone, whoever's on air, like Kyle drives the panel, Tim drives the panel, like everyone does. Jonesy drives the panel. Yeah, absolutely. Like, as someone who's like driving the show, you know exactly where it's going when you're behind the desk.
Yeah, perfect. One last question for you. You've obviously achieved so much in your time doing radio. What are your hopes and aspirations for the future?
Number one, baby.
Yeah?
Number one. Like that's short-term goal, like number one. Like being able to replicate what we did at Nova over, 12 years, being able to do that at KIIS, I'll be like, if we can be number one by like survey 1 or 2, oh God, I'll be the happiest.
Yeah, that'd be huge.
I'll be popping champagne. I can't wait to like, I think I don't know if you boys can relate to this or whatever, but I think a lot of people talk about like creative people talk about like imposter syndrome, right? Like you never really feel like you're good enough. You're like, oh, do I deserve to be in this room? Oh, do I deserve to be doing that? And I think sometimes particularly when I was like questioning, it's like, oh, do I start somewhere else? Do I do somewhere else? It was like, what if it's not successful? What if I was never really good enough? What if this was just a fluke? I was like, fuck that. No way. I'm going to have a crack at this. So that's what I want to do. And then, drive, breakfast. I feel like, in terms of my career, I have felt very supported by KIIS and very encouraged by what their future plans are for me and how I'm a valuable part of their network, which I am very excited by.
Yeah, fantastic.
That's awesome. I think I heard Tim say that you won 92 surveys. So
that's correct.
You're very familiar with that number one spot. And I can see you have
You've got
5
the Acras in the
Acras.
back.
I lined them up just for you.
I was going to say, are they normally there or is this just...
No, that's just a prop. Got those out there for you boys. Hang on, I got another one here, but we took this out. But I got this one here too. This is for my 10 years at number one. Most listened to.
Wow.
There you go. That can go right there.
How do you feel with this desire to be number one, which is fair enough, and you're obviously quite used to it. How do you feel with the Australian Commercial Radio Awards being discontinued?
Oh, it's a little bit sad. I think it's look, okay, let me level with you. By the end of it, it sort of felt like everyone got an award. I won't lie to you. Like there was a lot of categories by the end. But by the end of it, some of us were like, what's that a category for? and I understand it was trying to be very inclusive and trying to make everyone feel valued. But it's a bit like,
you in an Acra, you in an Acra, you in an Acra.
Everyone gets an Acra, right? Like, and I think it was like, I feel like they should reflect
excellence.
They should reflect they should reflect excellence, right? And I could even make a case, for example, where there's not a best show, best talk back show, best entertainment show. I would live for a category where there is no of those categories. It's just best presenter.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, in the same way that at the Academy Awards, right, there's only best actor.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
There's not, then there's best supporting, but there's not like, the Golden Globes is a bit like, best drama, best comedy, best musical, best this. And it's like, oh my God, everyone can get a Golden Globe.
Yeah.
But an Academy Award is revered because there's only so many of them. And they're very hard to come by. And I would prefer the industry like fine tune. Look, I'm sure the ACRAs will be back in some form. I'm sure eventually they'll come back. And if it's not done by the industry, then someone else will go, hey, let's do a radio awards or whatever. But like, it's a bit like, you guys in the podcast space, don't you guys have a new podcast awards every week? Isn't there like a new...
We don't get invited. We wouldn't know.
No, well, just so you know what you're not getting invited, there's a lot of podcast awards, like it's like, which is the greatest podcast award that you want to win? Anyway. It's like, it is sad. It's sad that, the industry doesn't get a chance to have a party. But, I think it's a great opportunity to reimagine what that looks like for the future.
That's awesome.
And then also, too, maybe our Triple J friends can get involved, too, because they really were just for commercial radio. And it's like, true. Well, maybe we all come together and just do an audio industry, radio awards, because I don't want to not be competing with, talented broadcasters who are on the Jays or on the ABC. And
you want everyone to know you're number one, not just commercial.
Well, no, technically, I was still number one even against those. That's right. The ratings did cover the ABC, so don't you worry about that.
We love it. Smallzy, it's been an absolute pleasure. Before we let you go, as we do with every single guest here on the podcast, we have a VIP cap made up.
Great.
They each have a little number on the side. So you're joining the crew at number 35. Can't remember what number Tim was.
Well, that's a bit fucking disappointing. There's 35 people beat me to this spot. Okay.
Yeah, essentially, yeah. But we should have got number one.
We needed some practice.
Who was number one?
Well, we all self-appointed our own. We're 1, 2, 3, and then from then on, we start dishing it out.
This doesn't feel like such an official numbering system. I won't take it personally, but I'm like number 35.
So we'll be sure to get that one out to you. You joined some big radio names as well.
Yes, Tim Blackwell, Liam Stapleton, Matt O'Kine.
Conchetta from Triple J. So there's been a fair few little radio.
Wait, she beat me too?
Literally, she was the most recent one as well.
Okay. I won't hold that against you, boys. I won't hold that against you. No, it's been fun. Thanks. I appreciate you having me on.
Thank you so much, mate. We have really appreciated it. What an absolute ledge.
The man of the hour.
I love when we said, those are some great trophies you've got there.
Yeah, the actors.
He was like, but I've got my real one here, the big one that's off screen.
It's like a 10-year.
10 years of being number one.
Yeah.
I wonder
that is nuts.
If we talked to him 6 months ago when he was still at Nova, do you think the lighting in the room would have been red? Because he made it quite purple.
That's true, yeah.
The big Nova Boy plushie.
Kiss FM. Yeah. Well, Jake was saying off air, Smallzy basically is Nova Boy.
Yeah, I don't think that was me. I think that was Joe.
Oh, Joe!
So how dare you?
So is your name Joe?
Yeah, I'm Joe.
I thought you've been Jake this whole 21 years of brotherhood.
Jake?
But no, Smallzy, an absolute chat. It was nice to hear. He does genuinely have so many nice relationships with the people that he interviews as well.
Yeah.
Mentioning that he does more than 200 interviews a year.
Yeah, that's
a lot.
That's taxing. That's 4 a week.
Who knows?
That's unreal.
Yeah, that is unreal. And completely fair that they would all just blend together. I wonder if there's a different, because obviously I've listened to a lot of them.
Yeah.
But they all seem so personal and unique as well. The amount of work that would go into keeping everything fresh for every guest, especially when you see them probably once every 2 years as well.
And even he said a lot of the stories blend together because he's seen the same few people every couple of years.
I guess if you were doing that many interviews, you would want them to be fresh questions for yourself.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to be hearing the same story about sometimes I just writing songs just can be real tricky.
That's true.
Then it hits you.
No, he's an absolute legend. Very competitive operator as well.
Which I love.
I didn't really know that.
No, didn't.
That doesn't come across
I guess
traditionally.
because when he is on air, usually he's either by himself or talking to a celebrity. So he's not really talking about like the game of it
He's
all.
not talking about beating the competition.
Yeah, it was nice to hear like he's genuinely competitive about it all.
And there's a reason why he keeps ranking in number one. I guess
Yeah.
you got to be that competitive in order to win heaps.
And I think it makes a great deal of sense for why he's moved on to KIIS. Like, obviously, reached the top of the mountain. The thing that seems to fulfill him more than anything is that competitive beast.
Yeah.
If you've been so good for so long, the biggest challenge is to be good elsewhere.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Very fantastic.
And I wonder what the future will bring, because I remember when Tim talked to him, Tim Blackwell, who we've had on the show, talked to him about him leaving Nova. They referred to themselves as the two barnacles of Nova. You know, they've been there forever.
Been hanging on, absolutely.
Can't rip them off.
Settle down. We're still okay. Maybe that was part of the deal.
But I mean, you know, you'd feel almost like a brand new beginning. Like he hasn't had a brand new beginning for 13 years that he's been doing the show. How exciting for him.
Yeah.
Being the new guy.
Yeah, the new guy around town.
I'm very
Who's
keen
the
to
new guy?
Very keen to see what it looks like
Why is
next
he in
year.
scrubs?
That's true. We didn't ask. Something I did want to ask
I want
was
to get
two
more
things.
into that.
I think the name, from what I read anyway, the name Smallzy come about because there was another bloke at the first radio station Star where he was at who was also named Kent.
Oh.
And I think the program director at the time was like, we can't have two Kents, so you're Smallzy. And that was just like, that became his
And his
brand.
last name's not even Smalls.
Imagine that. But then the surgery, I wanted to know, and we didn't really get to it.
I have heard him
Yeah.
talk about it. You want me to delve into it here?
Yeah, fuck it.
Yeah.
We spoke to him for 40 minutes, but you tell us why it's called that.
Well, these are words from his mouth that I heard on another podcast while I was as I was listening. He
you heard it when you're listening.
Well, while we were chatting to him, you were listening to another podcast.
yeah, I had an earbud in my right ear.
Just keeping
kind of
up.
Double Smallsy.
Yeah, I couldn't get enough of him. But he talked about, I think his name was Peter Jackson. Was that his boss that he kept referring to?
I think his name was Paul Jackson. Peter Jackson is the guy who did Lord of the Rings.
Peter Jackson and the lightning
And the
thing.
Suits guy.
Oh, no, I'm pretty sure
That's
it's Peter.
No, there was another guy who I think his name was Peter Craig.
Yeah.
And I was like, two P names.
Yeah.
Small world.
Smallzy world.
Good, yeah.
But yeah, he said that Paul Jackson?
We're not sure. It doesn't
Mr.
really matter.
Jackson.
It doesn't Michael Jackson?
Mr. Jackson.
I'm sorry, Miss Jackson. So he used to work at another radio station, either in America or England or something. Fact
cares?
check me.
We'll have to have him on again.
And there was a
To
show.
unbug this shit.
There was a show called Someone's Surgery, and he just loved the way it sounded.
Yeah,
So
Someone,
when
I
he
love that.
when he met Smallzy, he was like, "Well, we've got to call it Smallzy Surgery," and the name bloody stuck.
It is a good name because, like,
It has
also because
nothing-
it, like, not that it doesn't make any sense, but it's like, he's not like dissecting stuff. It's not like a clear, like,
Yeah.
it's called this because of that. It just is like, it just sounds cool.
Yeah.
Like, and everyone knows about it.
Yeah, the surgery.
Yeah, if you
Yeah.
say, we're chatting to Smallzy, people genuinely go, Smallzy
this
surgery.
Yeah.
And it doesn't make
It's
really
good branding.
Yeah. I've had a few operations. Don't want Smallzy in charge, to be honest. Music stuff. Yeah.
He's the man for it.
That's his place. But no, great chat. Really nice guy. Really appreciate it. He was very generous with his time as well.
As always.
Gave us a little bit of extra time to get a few yarns out as well, which was fantastic. Absolute superstar. If you enjoyed the show, do what you always do. Give us 5 stars and head to the little comments box. We mentioned it a few times. Head to the comments box. Let us know what you thought about the show and ping it to a friend.
Yes, sir.
Piece of piss.
Lovely work.
Thank you so much to Smallzy for joining us on the show.
Good times. Number 35 in the Mac Pack VI pack.
Yes, the list begins to grow. Boys, until we do this time next week, stay safe, stay blessed, and always remember to
Go give your mum a hug.
ciao for now. Bye now. Thank you so much for being a part of the pack. If you enjoyed this week's episode, Make sure to leave a little comment in the Spotify box below telling us what you liked. Or slide into our DMs. That's right, they're nice and juicy. They're very wet in there. You can slide in. Or you can just tell them, mate.
Share
just,
it with your mates.
Just share it with your mate. You
Share
know,
it with the lads or the girls.
Oh yeah, just share it. Just share it around. Tell people that you're enjoying it, and tell people that you like being a part of a community. The pack. Without you guys, we're just Mac, but with you guys, we are the Mac Pack. Thanks, guys.